Hello. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I am Roli Gupta and I represent Hindustan Unilever today. And the topic that I'm going to speak about is, the journey towards dark operations, which, HUL supply chain as an organization has embarked as a part of the advancements in the IR 4.0 and digital transformation space. So a quick overview about the company. So we have close to 1,100 suppliers, 28 own sites, 50 plus strategic contract manufacturing sites, 35 distribution centers, and 3,500 plus redistributors. We have our brands available in more than 9 million outlets in India. We have more than 3,000 SKUs, and daily we have around 10,000 trucks which carry HUL products on the road. We have more than 11,000 employees in our factories, and we have more than 1,300 women employees on the shop floor. So HUL has a flagship program called Prabhat, and we have close to 10 million beneficiaries, Prabhat, where we work towards uplifting communities around our factories. We produce close to 75 plus billion units in a year. Our days before next run, which is a metric of agility, is less than 3 days for our A-class packs. We have 7 nano factories where we produce 250 plus SKUs to cater to the new age segments of e-com and quick-com in the market. In terms of recognitions, we've received 3 Lighthouse Awards so far for our advancements in digital transformation across the sites. We have best-in-class NMSCC as a percentage of turnover, 75% efficiency across our lines. We have been plastic neutral since 2021, and we run on 96% renewable energy in our operations. So that's a quick overview of our company. So coming to a supply chain strategy, so we have a four-pronged supply chain strategy for HUL, which is around superior value, which we drive through the net productivity program, which is about driving material and non-material savings in our factories to deliver top line and bottom line of the business. Then we have the superior availability program, which is largely about segmenting the supply chain so that we cater to the emerging markets like quick com, decom, as well as keeping our service levels for general trade trade intact as well. Then we have superior product, which is about driving unmissable brand superiority in our product so that we delight our consumers every day. And then we have the superior care for people and planet, where we work towards climate, livelihood, plastics, etc. And all of this is enabled by our end-to-end digital transformation program, which we call as Project Samarth. So I'll be talking about the end-to-end digital transformation program in a bit more detail. Yeah, so Project Samarth is our end-to-end digital transformation program, which touches every node of supply chain. So so every node of supply chain between plan, source, make, and deliver, we have been running our AI-led digital initiatives so as to drive efficiency in our supply chain. So in plan, we have the intelligent and autonomous planning. In source, we have been doing partnerships and competitive buying. In make, we have progressed on our journey for autonomous and dark factories. And in deliver, we've been working consistently towards direct to store next day delivery through our program Samadhan. So I'll quickly move to what we have been doing in the manufacturing space in the digital transformation journey. So, as a part of our ambition to achieve dark operations in our factories, this is a strategy that we've been working on across, our factories in HUL. So, our journey towards dark operation is a three-part strategy. So, we start with foundation, which is about establishing the core, and this is nothing but capturing the data and then democratizing the data on our various tools that we have within HUL. So we have something called as DFOS, which is the auto line loss capturing system that we've installed in more than 60% of our lines. The other program that's there in the foundation space is statistical process control, which is about measuring process capability both for our dosing parameters as well as process parameters across our factories. This is to ensure that we get the right quality in market for our products. And then we have the energy management system, which is about optimizing the energy in the plant by installing energy meters across our factories, and then having a visualization platform that helps us analyze the data. So our strategy is that we expand these foundation apps because they've proven to give benefits in HUL across all the sites, all our priority sites. And so this is basically our foundation layer. Moving on to intelligent layer now, as a culmination of the data that we're getting from these foundation applications like DFOS, SPC, EMS, we're building an analytical layer on top of that, which is an AI-led layer. So we have our interventions like digital eye of consumer, which takes in data where we have AI-led cameras installed in the line, and it also takes data from some of the foundation apps like SPC, which then helps us analyze defects in real time and then give recommendations with respect to various process parameter set points. Then we have, in the safety space, we have safety video analytics, where we are actively working towards putting AI cameras in the plant to detect any unsafe acts which the operator is doing, and then interlock the machine so that the machine does not run if there is an unsafe act that's performed by the operator. And Insight Genie, which is our proactive tool, where we've gone and integrated the data of DFOS and SPC and tried to generate the autonomous insights with respect to whatever losses are occurring on the line. And of course, as we advance on a journey of foundation and intelligent, our ultimate ambition is that we move to dark operations, where we have a single console operation. We have the analytics and insights hub, and we have, of course, very minimum manpower in the line, and it would then eventually run at a very high efficiency and have very minimum quality defects. So this is how we're progressing and on our digital journey since the time of inception from 2021 and further for next 2 years in 2027. So I have a quick video which will give you a glimpse of one of the pilots that we did for dark operations in one of our factories.
Welcome to Gandhidham factory, where we manufacture Dove soap and have successfully adopted this cutting-edge approach. Starting with the process, we use a line loss capturing tool to monitor line losses and OEE in real time. To ensure first-time write batch of superior product quality, we have implemented a digital twin in our process. This technology helps optimize process and predict outcomes. The digital twin model prescribes optimal process parameters in real time, ensuring right quality. In packing section, AI-enabled cameras are used for real-time identification and rejection of both in-pack and on-pack defects, ensuring zero quality defects. Further in this transformative initiative, we have integrated smart robotics to streamline labor-intensive tasks, ultimately optimizing end-to-end efficiency across the production line. With these advancements, we have established a fully automated manufacturing setup where production activities can be carried out with near zero human intervention by integrating advanced technologies such as AI, robotics, and digital twins to create an efficient production environment. At the core of this next-generation technological advancement is a centralized control room, which allows control room operations to remotely manage the entire production process, providing them with real-time visibility into line performance and process parameters.
पहले हमको बेस बनाने के लिए मिक्सर फ्लोर में जाना पड़ता था। अभी हम लोग कॉकपिट की वजह से 100% सेफ्टी के साथ बेस बनाते हैं। पहले मैं लाइन ऑपरेटर था, अभी मैं कंट्रोल रूम ऑपरेटर बन गया हूँ।
With these multiple interventions, we have successfully established dark operations in our Dove line.
So all of these interventions, in IR 4.0 have, helped us achieve consistent equipment efficiency performance, really helped us optimize on manpower productivity and helped us, really reduce our energy per ton performance. So, how do we measure how actually we measure the success of our digital transformation journey in HUL? So, we have something called as Digital Transformation Index, where we very objectively measure the real benefits that are coming in from our digital transformation journey. So, it has 4 parts to it. It has the deployment OTIF. It has where we measure that against each of the project that we have designed for us and targeted in the subsequent years. What is the OTIF that we are running at? We have the adoption metrics against each of the use cases, which help us gauge what is the acceptance level of the use case, what is the identification of the challenges and barriers, and then which also helps us, iterate and improve on deployment strategies. In value creation, we very objectively measure what are the business benefits that each of these individual use cases are driving across our factories. We use this value creation metrics for performance measurement and benchmarking, and for really identify how we evolve the use case to drive more effective value creation. And then in people upskilling, so that we are able to really upskill the people so as to leverage so as to really embark on the journey of digital transformation. So one last case study I would like to present is a unique case study that we have developed, where we have connected all the 4 levers of plan, source, make and deliver, and built an intelligent, integrated and autonomous supply chain. So the next case study is around Project Samarth.
We have been making our supply chain future fit over last few years with several intelligent use cases across plan, make, source and deliver. We are now integrating these 4 pillars through Project Samarth by building an AI-enabled end-to-end supply chain nerve center capability to drive intelligent and autonomous decision-making for managing supply chain volatility. Samarth provides predictive alerts for any risks that interrupt business as usual activities, offers key insights to mitigate these risks, recommends intelligent solutions and auto-write backs to existing transaction systems for a more faster and data-driven decision-making. Imagine a scenario where a sudden breakdown occurs at one of our home care powder factory. Traditionally, this information reaches supply planners with a lag, and they have limited visibility to act upon it. The planner will have to access multiple platforms and call stakeholders to check inventory status, raw material availability, and several other data points for the impacted SKU. This leads to potential service losses and higher supply chain costs. With Samarth, we will have end-to-end visibility on relevant data points like capacity and raw material availability in other sites. In addition, the tool will generate auto-recommendation to maximize service at minimal costs. This helps the supply planner to manage disruptions with just a few clicks. Embrace the future with Samarth to deliver a future-fit supply chain.
Thank you so much.
We can take questions from the jury.
Thank you for the insightful presentation. One thing that was puzzling me was, how do you go, but I saw a mix of use cases all coming together to get to your strategic plan. But how do you start under each individual buckets, make, source, right? How do you decide what do you start with?
So what we've done is, we typically, when we started and embarked on this journey, we first crafted what are the top problem statements that we have across, each of these verticals. And that's where the first thought starter was on what are the top things that we want to work on, right? So for example, when we started our journey on manufacturing, of course, when the foundation layer, the first idea was how do we measure and, track the OE losses in real time, right? Because everything using was a logbook based system, and hence we started working and developing a solution around real time tracking of OE and the associated losses with it. So similarly, in each of these verticals, we discuss in the when we're moving forward, we discuss on what are the top problem statements that we have in the respective area, and accordingly then we craft what are the top solutions that we want to start working on. We have a priority framework that we work on typically, which once we have a plethora of use cases identified, then what gives maximum value and least amount of time is how we then prioritize between say 10 use cases that we've got in a particular area.
So each of the use cases that you presented are the ones which has the highest value for the business.
And of course, because we have a lot of factories across India, they are also scalable, and hence the value proposition is the highest.
Okay, and how do you make sure that when you're putting up a cockpit which is across multiple plants, how do you make sure that these issues are common across all the plants? Because there could be different problems in different plants.
When we have different very specific problems for that, for those specific set of problems, we have a different solution, probably in the space of digital twins, or in the space of maybe Inside Genie that I spoke about. Now, some of these tools are exactly replicable across sites, but then we produce multiple formats, right? So we have a soap line as well as a shampoo line as well as a foods line, right? So all of these solutions have a configurable system within themselves where they can really adapt while the front end visualization stays the same, but then have a back end where we can really integrate multiple formats together. So and some of the problem statements are common, like efficiency, energy, SPC. They are common problem statements and hence are deployed across, but then for targeted problems we do have targeted solutions.
And the maturity of the ability to bring a plant to the level that you want would also vary from plant to plant.
Yeah.
So how do you address that?
If you see, each of the plants in HUL will have a different maturity, in digital maturity as we call it, in the entire journey, and that's why some of our plants have achieved lighthouse recognitions, while some are plants where we are still connecting data to cloud, right? So in the overall scheme of things, where we see that there is the highest business ask, either in terms of improving agility or in terms of improving output or in terms of any savings opportunity that we have, those are the sites that we prioritize, and we definitely fast track our digital maturity in those sites. But of course, there are certain sites which are probably backup sites for us or would undergo transition in the near future. There, the digital maturity is slightly lower.
Thank you.
I just want to understand only one thing. You mentioned about auto loss capturing, but we didn't see anything of that. Is there anything that you want to speak more on that? Because that seems to be a very important topic.
Yeah, so we do have an auto loss capturing system on our lines, where we capture real time OE as well as we capture the level 4 losses, as we call it, right, on the line. So it has the capability to integrate the HMI tags that we give in the system. So on almost a real-time basis, you're able to understand what the line efficiency is and what are the top losses on the line, so that we can take more accurate and more accurate actions to improve OE. Earlier, it was all logbook based. We're also installing some AI cameras to capture some of the hidden losses which does not get captured through HMI alerts. But then those AI cameras through hand tracking help us, what were the exact areas where the operator was working on.
Does it also involve use of analytics and then back office work on the entire data that you're collating?
Sorry, I missed your last point.
The data that you're collating,
Yeah.
Does it also involve data analytics in the process of gathering the information on data loss?
No, so we do have an analytics platform which then, converts all of this data into insights, right? And then tells us, what is the root cause of the loss that was occurring, right? So we've made heuristic-based loss trees, which then tell us for, say, a certain loss like, spiral jamming, what are the top root causes that I can have, and then that algorithm runs at the back end to identify the root cause.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.